wading through a ruthless wasteland, stealing glimpses at the light. Whoever thought we'd be walking without you? You were the glue that kept us all so tight. Darkness wants to last forever. All that's good just seems to pass. The insight you had that you gave to us freely, you made our view grow brighter and clearer by passing through your glass. And now that we are on our own, the rain has gotten wetter. All the clouds are more dark, but we will make these things better. Your keen eyes for observation, peering out for duty's need. I had been blessed when they settled upon me, flawed and foolish, it was all agreed. As time went on, we grew closer, little secrets get revealed, and all together we could work magic. You helped me to understand the need, your strength, our shield. And now that we are on our own, the rain has gotten wetter. All the clouds are more dark, but we will make these things better. One less soul who knows our secrets, another spirit roaming free. For sure I know we'll take heed of the whispers left in our ears like shadows that could be. We have dreams and inner demons, we push on through our regret. We're thinking about all the joy and our victories, even while sadness snares us in its net. So I know that we'll remember, even if we need you now. It's easy to start, but it's so hard to finish. Living without you, there's less to hold on to. It's so much harder now. And now that we are on our own, the rain has gotten wetter. All the clouds are more dark, but we will make these things better. And now that we are on our own, the road has gotten longer. With every step we take, we are growing ever stronger.
Chapter 2. Party Hard. No need to bring a gift. Being there will be enough. Day 2. The time is approximately 4 p.m. The location is Red Trotter's Ridge's Big 52 North Branch. Usually, wearing a full environmental suit is not considered the cutting edge of equestrian fashion, but every pony has to admit that it brings some great advantages. First of all, if you were to survive a direct hit from a balefire spell, you'll probably live long enough to die of thirst inside the suit. The second good thing is that it is both waterproof and mildly heatproof, so you'll never need an umbrella or sunscreen. Oh, and it's lemon yellow, so it's nearly impossible not to spot you under almost any imaginable circumstance, except perhaps being buried under an avalanche of lemons. Obviously, there are moments when you don't want to be found, as if puppies cared at all.
Hi, I'm Puppysmiles.
The fallen yellow smiled at the new pair of ponies in front of her. They seemed quite similar to the trio of the other night, but a bit less reckless and a lot better armed. There was a unicorn mare that had a riot shotgun and an earth pony mare with a big spear strapped to her side. This information could have been of some importance if only Puppy had had some basic understanding of weaponry. The unicorn was the first to talk.
What are you doing in Red Trotter's territory, fool?
And what the hey is that weird suit?
Added the
I'm
earth
looking
pony.
for my mom.
Puppy replied enthusiastically, pointed a hoof more or less in the direction where the road was going.
She's that away.
The two tri-ponies exchanged a glare, then the unicorn spoke again.
Okay. And what's your mother's name? Is she a red trotter?
What's a red trotter?
The unicorn showed the first signals of growing impatience, but the earth pony answered the question for her.
We're the red trotters. We control the Trans-Equestrian Route 52 from here to Cube City. If you have business on the Big 52, you do it through us. So what's your mother's name?
My mommy is called Rainy Days. She's super cool and she always sings for me, and she's a great cook too. She's the best pony ever, and when I'm big, I want to be like her.
Yeah, sure. I got the point.
Snapped the unicorn.
Sorry, kid, but I don't know any Rainy Days. She's not a red trotter. If you want to pass, you have to pay a fee.
Okie dokie. I have,
Puppy started searching inside the various pockets of her suit. She'd collected some objects along her way, mostly broken toys and things she thought were interesting. Maybe she could give something to these ponies. After all,
you gotta care, you gotta share.
Right?
What about this?
Manipulating things without her teeth was quite a problem. She had to use her hooves, and that was made even harder by the fact that she was wearing that stupid suit.
Please wait. I'm almost done.
Assistance. The suit is equipped with a weak manipulation spell. Access your inventory from the HUD and ask for the wanted.
What?
By now, the two mares were sick of waiting, and the foal speaking to herself like a crazy old mare was just the last straw. The unicorn nodded to the earth pony. The latter gave a sigh, grabbed her spear, and stabbed Puppy in the neck with a single powerful strike, piercing the suit and its occupant, killing her instantly. Puppysmiles didn't even see it coming. She was busy listening to the suit and went down like a bag of stones.
She was dead anyway. A fool wandering alone out here is nothing more than walking glue. If only she had got her 2 days ago,
said the unicorn. The earth pony noticed the troubled expression of her companion. The earth pony retrieved her spear and looked in puzzlement at the pink smoke that was rising from the hole in the suit.
Hey, Boney, what's that?
The unicorn scratched her head with a hoof.
you must have broke some talisman in the suit. It could be poisonous. Best stay back.
But leave the body here like this?
The earth pony hesitated, trying to keep away from the pink smoke.
The red roaches will take care of her. After that little smoke show, I don't think that suit is worth looting. Let's move. The patrol ain't finished yet.
The two ponies trotted away, leaving the main road and heading to a low ridge not far from there. The body of the little pony lay in the middle of the road for half an hour or an hour and a half, and during that time the small pink cloud surrounding her didn't seem to dissipate. Day 2. Time is approximately 4:30 p.m. Location Red Trotter's Ridge's Big 52 North Branch. The first telltale sign that the story was still going on was the automated voice of the suit coming back to life with a series of crackles.
Initializing system. Checking version. Warning. Version number not corresponding. Starts in emergency mode. Version 0.2. Checking equipment status. All systems online. Major breach detected. Repair spells activated. Resuming last chat session. Loading personal data for subject 001. Puppysmiles. Subject deceased. Condition stable. All clear.
Puppy's eyes blinked for a moment inside the helmet, just as if she awoke from a pleasant sleep. The foal yawned, and a droplet of pink glittering fluid fell from her mouth onto the helmet of the suit, disappearing almost immediately as it was absorbed by the glass.
5 more minutes, Mom.
The filly turned around, still surrounded by the pink cloud that was now slowly fading.
Breach repaired. Subject insulated from external environment.
Lazily, the filly got up and looked around. At first, she frowned, then seemed to remember something.
Oh, right. Mom's not here. What was I doing before going to sleep?
Puppy tried to scratch her head, but her hoof found the helmet on its way. For a moment, she frowned again, shrugged, and kept scratching the helmet with a deep, thoughtful look.
Retrieving temporal memory. Query. Last performed action before losing senses. Negotiating passage.
Negotiating what?
Interacting with self-proclaimed Red Trotter.
Fancy words again.
Red who?
Talking with pretty ponies.
At last, something comprehensible!
Oh, right! Pretty ponies. Now I remember. Where are they gone?
Location of Red Trotters unknown. Finding the subjects to active mission.
Puppy raised an eyebrow with a stumped expression.
We have a to-do list. Since when?
List initiated 23 hours ago. Objective on list.
Wow, we have a lot of things to do. 4 is a lot, right? Oh, what's on the list?
Main objective, reach Mom. Secondary objective, get rid of spacesuit. Secondary objective, confront Count Horse Tall or keep avoiding them. Secondary objective, find Roger.
After listening to the list, the filly in yellow tapped her helmet with a hoof. Thoughtful expression on her muzzle.
Think. Muffins! No, wait, it wasn't that.
After several minutes, the foal nodded, a new resolve shining in her eyes.
Okie dokie, play some music. The one with the chatty pony.
Puppy trotted along the road, following the arrow and listening to the radio with a spring in her step. The area surrounding Route 52 was now a scorched land, dotted with rocks and ridges. It was hard to see very far because of the irregularity of the terrain, and this would have been a problem if Puppy ever cared. Obviously, she didn't.
Hey, Mr. Voice, did you say something about picking stuff from my pockets?
Affirmative. This suit is equipped with a weak manipulation.
How does it work?
Loading instructions. Selecting easy version for false and derpy. Name the object you need. If it is in your possession, it will be put in front of.
Muffins!
A box of 200-year-old muffins floated in front of Puppy. She giggled. It looked so silly hovering in the air like that.
Hey, this is fun! Sarsaparilla!
A bottle of sarsaparilla replaced the muffins.
Toy carts!
This time, a small toy cart in really bad condition floated in front of the foal.
We need more stuff. I like this guessing game.
Negative. This is not a guessing game. It is inventory management.
Puppy took a rock and put it in her pocket.
A rock!
The rock obviously floated out of the pocket and listed lazily in front of her.
Yay! It works!
When it was put away again, the stone was labeled the Rock of Destiny. But since Puppy was not so good with reading, she didn't notice. Trotting down the road, the filly kept asking for everything she had in her backpack, which wasn't very much. Actually, she owned just 4 objects, but she had big plans for the future.
Oh, and we need more music!
I can see that lone star from 1,000 miles away, calling me back home through I ventured far astray. When I see that beacon shine before me, all along it calls me back to Equestria and a home.
Day 2, approximately 7 p.m. Location, Red Trotters Camp, Big 52 North Branch. The settlement was little more than a dirty bunch of half-ruined shacks surrounded by a moat. Its barricade looked more like the result of a road crash between some old carts rather than a purpose-built defense. Puppy was blissfully unaware of all this as she kept trotting towards the town, singing along with the radio until the road in front of her suddenly exploded in a small pillar of dust.
Hey, I told you to stop. Right there.
Puppy looked toward the barricade. She could see that there was a pony some 50 meters away, and he was pointing a large gun at her. The filly sat down, waved a hoof, and smiled.
Hi, I'm Puppysmiles!
The pony with the hunting rifle, peeking from behind the barricade, didn't seem much impressed.
Okay. Take that goldfish bowl off and show your face.
I'd totally do that if I could, but I'm stuck inside.
Puppy pondered for a moment.
Actually, it's on the to-do list.
Great. Just great. Then just stand where I can see you and put down all your weapons.
I don't think I have weapons on me. I have a rock. Does it count? I can throw it.
She offered with enthusiasm. The guard pony face-hoofed.
Hey, Doublesize. Go and search her. You with the yellow suit. Just stand there and behave.
Okie dokie Loki.
Puppy smiled, but for some reason her answer startled the pony behind the barricade.
Just say okay. Don't try anything funny, and maybe no pony will get hurt. Do as I say now. Don't resist, and let Doublesize do his work.
A big brown unicorn male approached Puppy, looking at the smiling filly through the glass of her helmet. The light was beginning to fade, and now her eyes were just a bit pinkish, although it was hard to see thanks to all the pink lights coming from the helmet's HUD.
Wow, that's a mighty fine rad suit you have here. Integrated inventory management and lesser manipulation spells. This thing must cost a fortune. Where did you find it?
A pretty pony gave it to me in Canterlot.
So, you're from Canterlot.
Doublesize seemed skeptical. The filly nodded proudly.
Uh-huh.
The place with a big castle on the top of a mountain right at the beginning of the Big 52.
That's it,
replied Puppy, smiling.
Wow, this explains why you were wearing a full environmental suit at least. Okay, let's get back to business. Show me your pass.
Puppysmiles stared blankly at the brown unicorn.
My what?
You don't have a pass? Didn't you meet a patrol on the road?
I met two pretty ponies. One was an earth pony like me, and the other was a unicron. They were super nice and super pretty.
Yes, rattling bones and frozen soda,
said Doublesize, cutting her short.
Didn't they say something about a passage fee?
I don't remember. We were talking for a bit, then they went away and left me alone and sleepy.
The unicorn sighed and called for the pony at the barricade.
Hey, the foal's clean, but it seems that Boney and Soda are giving free passes today. The kid met them, but she has no pass. What now?
Just take something from her that's worth the ticket and give her a pass.
Okay.
The earth pony stripped Puppy of everything she had but the rock and the suit. Actually, he tried to unlock even that, but the harness seemed to be sealed shut from the inside.
Oh well, I guess it's just how things go. Sorry, kid.
Then he gave Puppy a flattened tin can with a red stain in the middle.
Here you go. Special discount for foals.
I'm telling my mom that you've been super nice to me. Thank you, Mr. Pretty Pony.
Oh, right. Speaking of that, what's a foal in a rad suit doing all alone on the Big 52? This is not a nice place.
I'm going to my mom.
Puppy took a look around as if she was trying to align herself with something, then pointed a hoof toward a high ridge to the southeast.
There! Okay, gotta go. Bye-bye.
Without waiting for a response, the foal merrily trotted away.
But the only thing in that direction is the carnival. Wait a second, kid. It's dangerous business going out.
Doublesize raised the hoof, but stopped himself. This was the wasteland, and she wasn't family. Why bother? The filly in yellow wandered off the beaten path and explored among the rocks and ridges. She found some sort of track, a winding trail running up and down the landscape just as if somebody had gone around dragging a couple of pointy sticks over the ground. Puppysmiles sniffed for a moment at the trails before ignoring them. For the foal, climbing rocks and jumping from stone to stone was a super fun game, so with a hop, a skip, and a jump, the evening became a night as the foal ventured deeper and deeper into the wastes. Day 2, time approximately 10:30 p.m. Location, the Carnival Wasteland. A large barn stood at the bottom of a narrow valley, its once friendly coat of pink paint now faded and cracked. It was protected by a fence that ran all around the surrounding ridges with an automated turret placed at fairly regular intervals. The building and the fence were in a bad shape, and so were the turrets, but some of them continued to slowly sweep side to side, guarding the perimeter.
Warning. Automated point defense turrets detected. Turrets are set on hostile mode. Threat level.
The word hostile immediately put Puppy on alert. She stopped for a moment, looking around at her surroundings.
The count again? Where? That pony is super persistent. Better safe than sorry, I guess.
The little pony hid herself behind a rock and waited to see if Mr. Horsetail was up to something.
Just the music, Mr. Voice. We're hiding.
She held her breath and strained her ears to hear if some pony was moving.
Establishing communication bridge with defense system. Exchanging protocol. Asking for clearance. Permission granted. The way is clear. Proceed, please.
Shush, I said. There must be some pony here. Could be the Count. We have to be super sneaky.
The puppy crawled out from the cover and glanced over her shoulder, and just in case something was creeping up behind her, before slowly moving toward the fence. The turrets almost immediately pointed in her direction, but their dots on the compass changed from red to pink, and the guns returned to their default positions.
Hey, Mr. Voice, I told you to stop the music.
Affirmative. The radio has been muted.
So, why do I keep hearing music?
Sound source detected. The music comes from inside the mom building.
From inside? Mom's inside that barn? With the music and everything? Mom is throwing a party? Yay!
Puppy instantly stopped hiding, got up on her hooves, and ran downhill straight to the barn doors. When the filly arrived, she bucked open the doors, jumped inside, and yelled,
Surprise!
The barn's inside consisted of a single large hall with two open lofts, one right above the entrance and the other on the opposite short side of the structure. The floor was made of flattened and pressed ground, covered sparsely with hay, and the walls were decorated with old streamers and garlands. From the ceiling hung some sorry-looking piñatas, a lot of limp, deflated balloons, and other old and half-destroyed decorations. The barn was barely lit by a couple of flickering lamps. The only thing that seemed to work properly were the speakers that were playing music at an almost deafening volume. Right in the middle of the room, there was a long table prepared for a party with colored dishes and plastic glasses with names and everything else. There were plenty of guests sitting at the table, a bag of flour, a pile of rocks, a bucket filled with something unrecognizable, and a chunk of dust, all of which wore a party hat. Oh, and there were skeletons too. No less than a dozen lifeless little ponies sat around the table, wearing festive party hats and staring blankly into empty plates. There were even a couple of corpses that looked more mummies than skeletons. Actually, one of them might have passed for a very hungry pony. A large pile of white bones lurked in a corner of the barn.
Warning. Mild radiation detected. Warning. Contaminating agent detected in the air. Analyzing nitrous oxide. Third level. Negative.
Oh, look. A new guest.
A figure rose from its seat as the guest of honor. It was a pony with a metallic, fizzling voice that sounded like an old vinyl. In the dim light, it looked like it was just a pink pony with an even pinker mane. But when it approached, Puppysmiles noticed it was moving on a set of wheels like it was wearing motorized roller skates.
Well. Look at you. I guess you're here for the masquerade. I'm super sorry to inform you that was cancelled. But you can keep your costume. It rock.
Weird thing number 2. Usually, ponies moved their mouth when they spoke. Instead, this pony had an unmoving smile painted on her muzzle, and when she talked, her eyes flashed with a creepy blue light.
Are you a robot pony?
Asked Puppy with some hesitation, remembering all the times her mommy had told her that she shouldn't point it out if other ponies looked weird.
Well, yes, I am. What a smart pony you are. Recreation Pony Bot, Pinkbot, Mark II, Prototype 3. And this is my birthday party. Want to join? I can free some seats, you know. Some of the guests are getting a bit grumpy and some don't participate very much.
The robot rolled over to one of the skeletons, picked up the whole corpse, and tossed it in the corner with the others, keeping just the party hat.
Here you go. What's your name?
Asked the Pinkbot, putting the hat on top of Puppy's helmet.
I'm Puppysmiles. I'm looking for my mom. She's supposed to be somewhere in this place.
Fantastic. Maybe she'll join us when she arrives. Now sit down. Would you like some cake?
Puppysmiles wasn't in the mood for a party. She was supposed to find her mom in this place, not a stupid birthday party. But maybe the robot pony could help her if she just played along for a bit. So the foal took her seat and looked around at the other guests. They were creepy, to say the least. I mean, there were these skulls looking at her, all those inanimate things dressed as guests, those 2 super skinny mummies. And wait a moment. The mummy was returning her glance? The little mummy was a unicorn foal with a pale yellow coat and an orange mane. She was losing hair and seemed very ill. The filly was giggling, but it wasn't a happy sound. It was like she couldn't help it. Her eyes were swollen and fresh blood dripped from her nose, deepening the red streaks that ran down her muzzle. Puppy felt a chill running down her spine. It passed from her shoulders to her tail and back up again. This place was wrong. She wanted to leave.
But Mom could be here. She could be one of those bone heaps.
A surge of panic threatened to overwhelm Puppy. This was just like that horror story where the super nice robot goes boing and starts hurting ponies. Way too many ponies had already suffered in this carnival of horrors, and another wasn't far from sharing their fate. Not to mention that her mom could be on the list, especially if she was heading here.
And what if she'd already arrived? No, wait, the robot that said something about her not being here, but the robot could have lied. Could she? Who cares?
That pink thing was baked bads, and Puppy didn't want to play her game anymore. For a moment, Puppy's eyes met those of the giggling foal sat at the table. That little pony missed her mom, too. This barn was a bad place.
Run away. Now. Go home.
Puppy didn't stop looking into the other pony's eyes until the young unicorn nodded and tried to leave her seat. The Pinkbot moved to intercept her, but Puppysmiles was planning to take up all her attention.
Where's my mom?
She asked, raising from her seat.
We will go looking for your mom when the bus is over. Okie dokie. Would you like some sarsaparilla?
The little unicorn filly staggered away toward the entrance of the barn.
Excuse me, the bus is not finished yet. You can't leave.
Where's my mom?
Puppy walked toward the pink pony droid, turning its attention back to her.
Now, please behave. Don't spoil the party. We have some pin that down the...
Puppysmiles' eyes flared up with pink flames.
Where is my mom? What did you do to her?
Error. Mom object not found. Please do not get angry. I'm sure your mommy will be here to pick you up very soon.
The unicorn stopped for a moment, leaning against the door to keep herself upright. She could barely stand. Walking almost seemed like a torture. The Pinkbot rolled purposely towards her.
Stop right there. You can't leave without the permission of an adult.
Don't ignore me! She was supposed to be here! Stupid robot! You're not gonna hurt my mom or anybody else!
Puppy snarled and lowered her head, assuming an aggressive stance.
Rock!
She muttered in a deep and menacing tone.
Please don't use the S word. Suppressive measures ineffective. Subject immune to toxins. Brute force squad activate.
Where?
Puppy's eyes were burning so bright that the helmet was filled with pink flames. The filly in yellow jumped at the robot's face, hitting it repeatedly with the Rock of Destiny. With a feral snarl, Puppy wrapped her hooves around the robot's neck and headbutted it as hard as she could. The force of the blow created a spiderweb of cracks that ran across the helmet, but it also broke off the Pinkbot faceplate, revealing the circuitry and mechanisms inside its head.
My!
With one hoof, Puppysmiles kept her hold on the robot's neck, and with the other she struck repeatedly at its exposed face. With each strike, she tore cables and vital components from the machine until she hit a talisman. The robot exploded as if it was filled with pink and yellow fireworks, launching Puppysmiles across the room. Puppy's flight ended rather abruptly as she collided with one of the automated turrets that had popped up after she had decided to get medieval on that robot. The impact severed a power cable, causing it to shut down with a plaintive whine. The remaining turrets locked on and unleashed a barrage of colorful beams that scorched Puppy's suit, but were unable to penetrate it.
Stop it! Tell me where my mom is!
The filly charged the nearby turret head-on, slamming into it hard enough to knock it completely off target. The turret continued to fire wildly, now hitting the roof, and proved to be far more effective against the barn's already weakened load-bearing structures than it had on the magically resistant environmental suit. Puppy turned and finished it off with a buck that was so strong that it tore the turret off its mount, silencing the machine, but not before the ceiling began to crack and fall apart.
Mom, where are you? Mom!
Ignoring the barn that was collapsing all around her, the foal ran towards the bones stuck in the corner.
Mr. Voice, do you see my mom? Where is she?
Error. Destination reached. Ministry of Morale Hub already.
What are you saying now? I want my mom! You said she was here!
With a last deep rumble, muffled by centuries of dust filling the air, the barn fell on Puppy's head, burying her alive. As the first lights of dawn tried to pierce the ever-present curtain of cloud, a small, emaciated unicorn filly crawled out of the defensive perimeter of the former mom's structure. The turrets lay still, having lost their power source. Even the music had fallen silent, its 200-year lament finally over. Small patches of flame burned among the debris, failing to consume their remains as rotten wood provided inadequate fuel. Day 3. Time is approximately 9:15 a.m., location, the carnival in the wasteland. Even now, the cursed place couldn't find peace.
I didn't ask you to find this party of horrors place! I told you to find my mom!
Said a muffled voice from under the ruins.
Negative. You asked.
The suit launched an audio file with Puppy's voice.
Mr. Voice, where's Mom? That's exactly what I'm saying!
Affirmative. Ministry of Morale, nearest functioning hub, was located and marked on the map. It was set as primary objective and reached 11 hours. Then it was destroyed.
Yeah, I remember that part. It exploded twice!
Negative. It is impossible to explode twice. Major damages repaired. System fully functional and...
Puppysmiles went silent for a few minutes, trying to think. going harsh on Mr. Voice was useless, mostly because there wasn't anything to hit, so she had to be smarter. She was a smart pony, right? That Pinkbot had said so, after all.
Okie dokie Loki. It's useless to cry over spilled milk. Under spilled barn. Mom wasn't here, but you said there are other places. So, what's next?
Warning, despite the clear explanation, there is still a major misunderstanding.
Oh, shut up! What's the next Mom's place we have to check?
Really? Mr. Voice could be all work and no play at time. Dumb suit. The voice went mute for a moment. If it had a more complex artificial intelligence, it could have said something else, or at least felt frustrated. But this wasn't the case. This program was designed to be effective and to obey, so that was all it could do.
Next, Mom location marked as primary objective. Location set as target on the compass.
A new pink arrow appeared on the compass as Puppy finished pulling herself free from the rubble. The filly jumped down from the ruins and shook herself, trying to get rid of the dust that coated her suit.
See? Everything is easier when you collaborate.
Affirmative. Cooperation is magic.
A metallic chuckle interrupted the conversation and caused Puppy to turn around and see the buzzing sprite bot she had met a couple of days ago.
Oh, it's you, questioner. Hi!
The filly smiled.
It's Watcher. Anywho, that was quite random, wasn't it?
What? You mean the party? Trust me, you didn't miss anything. Worst party ever! Every pony was dead. Quite literally.
So, did you find your mom?
Nopey mopey.
Puppy frowned for a moment. Then she smiled again.
But we have a lot of places to check, so it's okay. She must be somewhere, right?
Yes, I guess.
The bot paused for a good while.
And may I ask where you were going now?
There!
The filly pointed with her hoof and then added,
This time I feel lucky.
So, you're going to check the next location of Mom in that direction?
Sure.
The robot took another long pause before speaking.
And you feel lucky about it?
Yep.
Oh, well, why not? At this point, very well, Puppy. I have to go. Have a nice trip and stay out of trouble.
Sure, Mr. Question. Have a nice day.
The sprite bot turned and floated away, proudly broadcasting the March of the Parasprites as it did so.
Oh, right. Mr. Voice, put on some music.
I want to set Equestria. I don't want to set Equestria on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
Day 3, approximately 2 p.m. The location, Red Trotter's Flats, Big 52 North Branch. Puppy was back on Route 52. She had left the rocky area behind her, and the landscape ahead was now mostly flat, dotted with the occasional ruin of an old farm. The silhouette of a big city began to emerge from the dusty air some kilometers in front of her. She could see skyscrapers in its center and a large, half-collapsed dome to one side. Along the road there were carcasses of old carts. Some were fast little racing carts, while others were big, hulking cargo trucks. All of them shared the same fate, left alone to rust in the middle. Puppy turned toward the pair of voices that had called out to her.
Hey you, wait!
Puppy turned toward the pair of voices that had called out to her. The filly in yellow stopped to see who was coming and recognized the two mares from the other day. She smiled and waved a hoof. One of them stopped a little more than 30 meters away and readied an assault rifle, while the other drew near, assuming a cautious stance but leaving her power lance sheathed.
Okay, little Miss Miracle, stay put and nobody's gonna get hurt.
Are we playing a game?
The unicorn kept her rifle aimed at Puppy, while the other pony answered,
Yeah, something like that. Wanna play.
Great! Can I start? Huh?
Puppy had already begun to jump in place like the hyperactive foal she was.
Sure, why not? I'll ask you a question, and you try to answer. If you don't reply, you lose. Got it?
Yay! Guessing games! I love guessing games! Ask me something! Ask me anything!
Great. Question number 1. How comes you're still alive and unhurt after getting a power lance through the throat?
Oh, what? Where?
This one was hard. Puppy had no idea what a power lance was, but it seemed that there was some way to swallow it and not get nausea by doing that.
Pass!
The two mares exchanged a glance again.
Maybe she's just retarded?
Offered the Earth Pony. The unicorn sighed.
Well, at least try asking something else. Okay, kid. So, why did you go to the carnival?
You mean the old barn? Well, this stupid Mr. Voice told me that my mom was there. Guess what? She wasn't. And in her place, I found the worst party ever. There was this mad pink robot that wanted to hurt my mom, and I got upset, but then the robot exploded, and a strange thing started throwing nasty lights at me. Then I don't remember very well what's next, but I think that the barn fell on my head. That happens to me a lot lately.
Puppy stopped for a moment, pondering.
I hope that skinny filly is safe.
Ridge Racer will live, and that's the thing that keeps my friend from pulling the trigger.
The Earth Pony took a long breath.
So, you resurrected, trotted all the way to the carnival, destroyed that accursed place, and saved Boney's sister. Just by accident?
I don't remember doing all that, but if you say so.
And you were just looking for your mom. All the time.
Yes. Do you know where she is?
Yeah, she is retarded.
The Earth Pony face-hoofed while the unicorn behind her couldn't hold in a snicker. After a short laugh, the unicorn's expression became more serious.
But she saved my family. I'm in debt to her.
So what now, Boney?
Asked the Earth Pony.
I don't know.
Rattling Bones lowered the rifle and approached Puppysmiles, who smiled at her. Somehow that enthusiasm and innocence stole a little smile from the hardened unicorn, and she placed a hoof atop Puppy's glass helm.
I'm not sure if you're a good or bad news, but I owe you one. So thanks.
Rattling Bones took a rectangular scrap of metal with a white half-eaten apple painted on it, offering the object to the filly in yellow.
Here, take this. It's a pass. If you're going to Salt Cube City, show it to the guards, and they'll let you inside. Understood?
Puppy's eyes widened with glee as she stared at the gift.
Wow! Thanks! A present! I love presents! Thank you super much, Miss Pretty Pony!
The unicorn continued.
You put an end to a nightmare for our entire tribe, and gave me back the only thing I cared for. I hope you find what you're looking for, little ghost.
Daw, aren't you guys cute?
Mocked the Earth Pony mare.
Oh, just shut up and let's keep moving, Soda. We have a patrol to finish.
Hey, are you crying, Boney?
No, I'll just shut up and just don't you dare laugh or tell the story to any pony.
Guess what? Now I feel sorry for killing her.
The two ponies left, heading in the opposite direction to the Pink Arrow. Puppy watched them trotting away and waved her hoof as they disappeared behind a ridge.
I like pretty ponies. They're pretty.
Puppy smiled before setting off in the direction of the big city.
Hey, Mr. Voice, can I ask you something?
Affirmative. Please state your request.
When we find my mom, are you going away? I mean, I don't want you to go away.
Negative. As an effect of the Little Horn agent, this piece of equipment is irremovably fused.
This means that we're together forever? I can keep you with me when we find Mom?
Affirmative.
Puppy smiled, listening as always only to the part of the explanation that she wanted to hear.
All right, Mr. Voice. You already know what we need to do now, don't you?
Affirmative. Analyzing the previous interactions, your request is predictable with 95% accuracy.
The radio began playing music and Puppysmiles started to sing along. There was still a lot of road to trot and she was by herself as always. But Puppysmiles was a filly on a mission and she had that stubbornness that can only come from ignorance. Besides, she wasn't really alone. She had one friend that was well aware of and maybe a couple that she didn't even suspect.
You and me together will be forever, you'll see that we two can be good company. You and me, yes, together, we two. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending and listening to our dramatic reading of Pink Eyes, Chapter 2. Chapter 3 will probably not happen until after BronyCon, if I'm entirely honest, because I will be at TrotCon and then BronyCon, and that's just really, really hard to be at. And still do this. In the meantime, I will allow my co-hosts to introduce themselves and say what they do. So, go ahead, guys.
Hello, this is Cinder Script. I play Puppysmiles.
I'm Lenzabi. I am the narrator.
I'm Bronze. I play Mr. Voice and Pinkbot.
Hello, I am Treestump. I play the Unicorn Mare, and I also played the red trotter called Doublesize.
I am Fiora. I played the Earth Pony Airhead and Watcha, as well as the singing lines for Puppysmiles' mother.
Don't forget the mummified unicorn foal.
Oh yes, the mummified unicorn foal. That was... Please, don't let this end. Please do tell your friends about this, and I will make sure to announce it well in advance from now on. In the meantime, I would also like to thank Stargazer for playing our Red Trotter guard, who gave Puppysmiles the first pass she got. And we'll see you guys. Probably the next planned one will be announced on shooting for August the 11th, but it might be as late as the 18th before we get to Chapter 3 due to BronyCon basically wrecking us for any ability to do anything.
I'm Flower.
So, I'll miss you all. I hope you all have fun while I'm gone.
And thank you for listening.